Hello everyone, we're back, and today you probably clicked on the video because it had mistakes in Airbnb in the title. So today, as I said in the title, we're going to give the 4 biggest mistakes that we notice that people do when starting an Airbnb business. We're going to start straight away with number 1. He's going to lead it.
Alright, so for number 1, let's just not waste your time now, let's get straight into it. Number 1, location. Now, we mean a few things here. Firstly, you don't want to go too far. Now, I don't want you to think you're restricted in terms of location, but if you're from Birmingham, don't be thinking about investing in Scotland. It is a waste of your time. Let's say it takes around 7 hours, 8 hours to probably, that's very little by the way, to furnish a property and to get it ready for market. If you lived in Birmingham and took on a property in Birmingham, your total time working would be commute and working. So it'd be 7 hours and an extra 2 hours of commuting. If you're in Scotland, it'd be like 20 plus hours. You're wasting so much time on burning it. Do not invest very far away from your property, especially for your first unit. As you get bigger and as you get better, 100% it's a good option because of course there's good investments everywhere. But when you're new and you're probably going to be slow, you're probably going to make a few mistakes just because you're getting, it's your first time ever crossing that path. So do not go too far. But in the same time, don't feel restricted. If you're from Birmingham, you can't just invest in Birmingham. That's not the way the strategy works. Focus on like the nearby cities. So you got Birmingham, of course you got Wolverhampton, Nottingham, Leicester. You got all of these places nearby which are strong markets. So that should be your goal. Get properties in that location. So don't just restrict yourself down to the location. And also the third point for location, make sure you're taking on a property which has obvious demand. If you can't explain to me why I'm going to book your property, you probably shouldn't take it on. If there's no cinemas near, if there's no shopping centres near, if there's no railway stations, if there's no construction sites, if there's no stadiums, do not go near that property. Chances are, if there's no Airbnbs in an area, if there's no hotels, you actually shouldn't go near it. That's a rule that we personally follow. If there's no hotels, we don't go near it because we understand that hotels are like the father to Airbnbs. They basically are where short stays started, and Airbnb is just a better way of doing it. So I'll let you take on the next point.
So for number 2, we have professional pictures. And if you go through Airbnb right now and just type in a random area, a random city, and just scroll through it, you'll notice a lot of professional pictures and a lot of good professional pictures as well. But you'll realise that the ones that actually stand out are the colourful ones, because you can have professional pictures of a shit property and it's not going to look good, is it? You need colours and you need a good looking property, well edited so the sunlight's in as well. And pretty much the exact reason for this is the same as why I clicked on this video pretty much. So it's like thumbnails on YouTube. If you click on a video, if a video has a shit thumbnail on YouTube, you're most likely not gonna click on it. Let's just be honest. The title could be good, but if the thumbnail is boring, there's no colour, there's no energy, there's no title, it's just no thumbnail, you're not going to click on a video. It's simple customers' psychology. Why would they click on something they don't even want? With Airbnb or Booking.com, if you type in the area that your property's in and someone scrolls through it and they don't see a good they don't see a professional picture that they like, or a property that they look at and they want to stay there sort of thing, they're not going to stay. As simple as they have to click on it, book it, and then you'll get the money. So it's not a thing where the booking just happens. Like, it's a step-by-step process. They have to scroll through, see a property they like, and the way you're going to get someone to like your property is with professional photography. Once they do that, they'll press on it, then they'll book it, and then you get your money. That's exactly why professional pictures are very, very important and literally will double your revenue. And yeah, I'll take it to number 3 as well, if you just carry on.
Okay, so next up, we see a lot of people, especially beginners, allow one night stays. Like, they do all the hard work. They put the money into the property. They get the professional picture done, like you said, which can cost around 100 to 200. They get their hopes up. They furnished it. They done all that. They pay the deposit. It's now listed. What happens? They then put it out as a 1 night minimum. So basically, you can book it for any length of time. You can book it for 1 night, 2 night, 3 night, 5 nights, 75 night, whatever you want. This is a big issue. This is huge. I actually have a video on Instagram specifically destroying this because you should never do it. Why would you allow someone 2 weeks in the future to book for 1 night when you could potentially have a different family who want to book for 7 nights? Think about it in terms of profit. Think about it in terms of usage, in terms of like cleaning. It doesn't make any sense. You should never, ever, ever have a 1 night stay. Also, the big buzzword when it comes to Airbnb is parties. Guess who throws parties? People that stay for 30 nights and people that stay for 1 night. You tell me.
Sounds like 1 night to me.
It's literally, of course it's 1 night. So never ever, even if you're desperate, you're better off having no bookings Okay, you're better off having no bookings and a quiet property as opposed to having one night stays, because it's just revenue coming in, cleaning will go out, bills will go out, and you're potentially having parties. So yes, you can have damage deposits and stuff like that, but it's a lot of headache to deal with as an owner. And if you want to think big, you don't want to be allowing yourself to have these parties. So that's a big mistake that we see a lot of people do, and they shouldn't be doing it. And if you just take point 4 now.
So for the last point of today's video, and this is a common mistake we see, especially with people who have just got their Airbnb property, and that is pricing. So what they do is they price it too low because they favor occupancy. And obviously, if I tell you 100, would you rather have 100% occupancy or 70% occupancy? As a beginner, you're going to say 100%. But that's simply incorrect, because 100% simply means your prices are too cheap. If you're getting the sale 100%, so 30 days a month, your property is booked out, most likely your prices are too cheap. Now obviously this isn't always the case if you have the correct systems in place, which include direct bookings and outreach, but most of the time, if you're 100% booked, it's because your prices are too cheap, especially when it's filled up with like 2 night stays, 4 night stays, 5 night stays, stuff like that. So what you want to do is you want to find a balance where you've listed your prices a little bit, just so that your occupancy is around 70 to 80%. That's the sweet spot. And what that means is that your revenue will actually be more, because there's less cleaning fees, there'll be less bills because the property is occupied for less time, and you'll enjoy more profit, and also less headache because you have a lot of turnover with people coming and going out of your property, which could potentially lead to more problems. So if your pricing is correct, and the way you can also ensure this is by setting up something called dynamic pricing. So there are softwares such as Price Labs which you can set up dynamic pricing. What this does is it scans the area for any upcoming events. For example, I'll give you a little example here. Say if you have a property in Manchester near Old Trafford, Monday to Friday they'll have a set price, but Price Labs knows, for example, if they're playing Liverpool or something, they have a big game on the weekend, Price Labs will bump the prices, may even double the prices as well. So if you don't have Price Labs in place and your prices are too cheap, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, and that is a common mistake that people make, which loses them a lot of money.
Even on like the point of Price Labs, I don't know if you remember, basically in Leicester, which is where like a few of our properties are, there's like an event in a big park in Leicester, and there's like a concert. It was like for old people, I didn't even know what it was, but anyway, it was like an event, and we didn't know about it obviously because it was for old people. And who did know about it? Price Labs. So what Price Labs did was it literally marked our prices up not by 2%, sorry, not by 2x, not 2.5x, by 3.5x. On a normal night, we're about 105. On those nights, we're getting booked for £300 each. It was crazy. We were looking at it and thinking, what on earth is going on? Why are they paying it? But we didn't realise that our property was in the perfect location for that event. This is one of those luxuries that you have. There's always going to be things going on in the city, but if you have a property secured, you've always got an option for people that will need staying. And when there's events like that, the demand surges up and prices also can come up with it. It's sort of like the principle as to why prices are expensive in London as opposed to in where does no one go?
Derby.
Probably Derby, yeah. In London, you have a lot more traffic, so what that means is a lot more demand, and then people are happy to pay high prices. In Derby, it's a bit lower, so the prices will also have to reflect that, or else they're not going to make sales. That's pretty much the simplest way of doing it. So if you did find this video helpful, please do comment, like, share, subscribe, all those things. Any support really helps the channel and allows us to keep making these sort of videos, and make sure that at the end of the day, you let us know if it is helpful, you let us know if it isn't helpful, and if it isn't, please tell us why, so we can make some good videos for you guys. Alright, see you in a bit.
Take care.